looking to vote tomorrow.
So the team that you lost to twice last year, does this have any special significance this
This is
game?
not right. I think it's your phone.
Well, the significance is they're great. I think they're better than their record. They got everybody back, plus they've added some pretty nice pieces. You know, Larry did a great job with them last year, but you know now they got their head coach back. This is a huge challenge every time you play Cincinnati. The fact that they've beaten us before, to me, just makes us maybe respect them more. Maybe our kids respect them more. I've always respected them.
Have you ever coached with a bench this short?
Yeah, I remember, you know, when I was in the NBA, we had a fight a couple of times, and no, this is a different fight. But they suspended half the team for one game and half the next because the guy's leaving the bench, and they were kind enough not to say, well, we got to suspend everybody, so we wouldn't have had enough guys to play. So, but you know, there's basically 7 guys on scholarship. We were short, you know, before this situation, probably short as any team in the country. But when you consider what this team has done and accomplished, you know, and what we have ahead of us now with all these conference games and Gonzaga, you know, it's a real challenge, but I think it's just made these kids better.
How do you approach the game now from a minute's perspective? What changes with such a short bench?
Well, we played a game. I think we played more than one game with this, you know, recently. Before I came back, you know, Keith had been hurt, so Tim basically had 7 guys. It wasn't Cincinnati. You know, we were playing, and then, you know, with the last league game we had against South Florida, we had basically the same kind of situation. And as I said, as the season goes on, the games become more difficult, more meaningful. Competition becomes better, so. But I think it's going to make our kids better. You know, just the short bench, everybody has to, you know, play their very best. The way they've approached practice has been pretty incredible. Just hope that we can, you know, just keep moving forward.
How do you keep them from not getting distracted looking at staying undefeated or anything like that?
You know, I was uncomfortable sitting at home and watching and everybody talking about this undefeated season. I just blew my mind. You know, I've seen North Carolina lose this year. I've seen Michigan State lose this year. I've seen Kentucky have 2 losses this year. Cincinnati, and you know, I've heard a lot of people talk to and say that they felt they were a Final Four team, and I don't doubt that. And they've had some losses. So my thing with our guys, based on what those kids have been through, and the fact that we've done as well as we have to this point, is a credit to, you know, Tim and our staff, and then to those kids in there. It's a real good feel-good story, I think. But we just got to focus on the next game. That's the only thing that I'm trying to tell them.
So being unbeaten makes you nervous? It's a good problem to have, right?
I'd be nervous if we were playing any high school team in this city. I mean, every game that you coach, you know, there's a little bit of anxiety there. And the older I get, the more I hate games. But the record doesn't affect me one bit. You know, I just think I'm just hopeful we get better each night. You know, and then the kids, you know, feel like we're helping them improve and preparing them for the next opponent. That's the pressure I feel, is that have we prepared our guys? Are we ready to play? I don't worry too much about records. You know, we won a national championship with a team that lost 5 straight games in the middle of the season, and I told our kids we were getting better. They looked at me like I was crazy, but every time I step out on the floor with this group after what they've been through, I feel better and better about me being a college coach.
Apart from the games on just a day-to-day basis, how hard is it for you and your staff to plan and execute an effective practice with such a short bench?
The short bench is not a factor, just not having people to practice against, you know, just not having 10 guys. And then I keep looking at Shimmy, who's eligible to play now, and wanting to put him in and play, you know, and hold him back, saying, no, we got to wait till next year. But that's really been a challenge, because you can't pick up anybody off the street to work out, and you can't find Division I college players to practice against, you know. So I've found that really an unbelievable challenge so far. But again, you know, this is the hand we're dealt, and we're gonna do the best we can with it. And I just know these 7 kids that we have right now, and Jonathan, are getting more work, more coaching, more attention. So hopefully that helps.
Have you been tempted to pull Shemmy's red shirt?
No, I would never do that. You know, when I was at Kansas, the year we won the national championship, I had 2 kids redshirt, and that were great. We got down to 9 players and had to bring out 2 football players. And we won the national championship, and you know, I looked at them and I let them sit out the whole year, and they both had great careers. I told Shimmy we were going to do what was best for him and his family, and they made the decision they wanted to.
So have you called Chad Morris?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The seven that you guys
Absolutely.
have. The 7 that you guys have, are those the only 7 that'll see the floor, or is there anybody from a
Look,
walk-on perspective that can help you?
Jonathan's played.
Yeah. Can he help
He's-
you in a
he's
realistic way?
He's going to have to play. You know, he's been a big part of our team since his freshman year. But you know, there's a difference between being a preferred walk-on and, you know, Division I player on scholarship. But yeah, he's part of our team. You know, we treat him like he's part of the team, and he's contributed. But we got 7 guys, right? And Jonathan, and we're gonna do the best we can.
A couple of the guys said we only need 5. Is that kind of the rallying cry?
I don't believe that. And I'm not disrespecting what they said, but everybody asked me who's a starting team. We had 8 starters, you know, when we started this season. And that's the way I look at our team. We got 8 starters. You know, Marcus comes off the bench. I don't look at him as a sub. You know, when Jure coming off the bench, I don't look at him as a sub. And when Shake was on the bench, I didn't look at him as a sub. So as far as I'm concerned, we've always had 8 starters this year.
You mentioned the football players who joined you at Kansas, and you said you called Coach Morris. What did he say when you called asking for
I didn't get to speak
any warm bodies?
I didn't get to speak to Chad. You know, we spoke to Randy, and he's going to check. Because, you know, I look at Texas, there's so many great athletes in this state, and I've spoken to some kids that have had an interest in playing football and basketball since I've been here with June and Chad, and I would welcome anybody, you know, that wants to play both sports. you know, we won a national championship with 2 football players, so why change?
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.